Hey guys, welcome back. Yep, we're still stuck indoors. We're still told to stay home. The virus is still going on pretty strong. It seems like it is getting a bit better, and hopefully we're on the downward side, and I'm hoping everybody out there is okay. But we're stuck indoors, so what are we going to do? Hey, why don't we play some Splatoon? Well, maybe not the game, but let's do the next best thing. Let's do a little stop motion photography using these cool little Splatoon characters. Alright, looks like we're invaded by Splatoon. I mean, that was a lot of fun playing with this little stuff. And yeah, I decided to do it with the iPhone 11, and I downloaded an app called Stop Motion. Now, it's a free app available in the App Store, and it's for Android or for iPhone. Now, it's free, but there's in-app purchases. Now, you can buy the whole program outright, and it's got all the little bells and whistles with it, or you can buy individual items if you want to. There was an erase tool, which was 99 cents. You could add it on, and that way you could erase things out of the video, which is kind of handy and kind of cool. But check it out. It's really cool. I used it with the iPhone 11, and like I say, it's a lot of fun. Now, you can do the stop motion with an iPhone, Android, you can do it with a DSLR, or you can do it with a point-and-shoot camera. The big thing is, your camera needs to be mounted on a tripod, a stand, a table, whatever, but it cannot move, and you cannot touch it to release, to take a picture. That is the most important thing. Now, if you have one of the newer DSLRs, usually you have an app on your phone that you can control it with, or you might tether your DSLR to a laptop or computer so you can remote release it that way without touching the camera. Point and shoot, not quite sure how you can work your way around that, other than maybe a self-timer. With the iPhone, the app does it, and I will show you how that app works on the iPhone specifically, and you can check it out. It's pretty cool. So let's get into the little setup that I had for this, and then we're going to get into the actual app, and I'll show you some of the cool features of that. So let's go check it out. Okay, there's my little Splatoon Town setup. I have my iPhone 11 mounted on a newer mount, mounted on top of my tripod. On the right hand side you can see the stand going up and just peeking into the corner of the frame is the light, and it's one of the newer LED light panels which lights the setup just wonderful. So that's the basic setup. So iPhone mounted onto the tripod so it does not move. Let's go in for a little closer look at this setup so you can see a little more of the details. So that's just a little closer look of our set there, and you can see just out of focus there is the iPhone 11. But that's basically the set I threw together just for this little stop motion and had a little fun on a day when there wasn't a lot going on. All right, let's get back into the studio. Well, there you go. That gives you a good look at the little setup that I did for the stop motion. Now, let's get into the app and check out some of the features. We've just opened up the app, and we're going to click on New Movie. That brings us up to our first screen. Now on this screen here you can see there's a bunch of different controls around the edge. If you hit the question mark with the circle on it on the far right hand side, boom, look at that. It gives you a nice little overlay of what each of the controls do. Now the only one we're concerned with at this point is the bottom left in settings. So let's go ahead and click on that. Let's get rid of the overlay first and click on settings. Now you can see there it came up under the 4K that we get the standard def and the high def available to us. The HQ and the 4K are locked out because this is a free version. So we want to click all the way on the far left hand side of that menu and bring up the speed. The speed is your frames per second. Now for stop motion you typically want 10 to 12 frames per second. Remember, most videos that you do or you're watching, they're 24 or 30 frames per second, which basically means 24 or 30 pictures per second. That's a lot of pictures for a 2-hour movie. So on here, just remember, the higher the number, the smoother your video, the lower the number, the choppier the video. All right, that's the basics to that. So we're at 10, we'll just leave it there and we're hit done. Now on the screen you can see the arrow pointing up to the top right there, adding us to take some pictures. So we're going to click that and boom, it brings us into there. Now, if I hit that arrow at the top again, takes me back to that screen. All right, so we'll just go back again. Now you can see the big red button with the arrow. It's telling us to take some pictures. But before we do that, if we click on the bottom right corner control here, you can see it'll bring up your different menus. If I come over to the far left, I've got my camera and green screen remote camera locked out. The M for manual. If I go into auto, then it's all set up auto and I don't have to control anything. But if you see, the lighting's a little off a bit. So if I come to AL, hit the sun, and let's just increase our exposure a bit and say done. So that looks a little better than it did before. Now, if I take a picture with the button, I've got a photo. But I have to be careful not to jiggle the camera. And if you've noticed, even me touching the screen, it's jiggling. So you don't want to do that. Now, just above the record button is a self timer. So we'll just click on the self timer. And you can see down at the bottom your scale, and it goes all the way to 90 seconds. So let's come in and do, we'll just do 5 seconds on this just to show you. It'll only give me 5 seconds to move one of the characters. So I'll start there, and then I'm going to move this character. And just watch the red button, how it counts the timer down. And we'll start it now. And you can see how that timer is going around and around. Picture done. Move your character. Picture done. And just keep moving your character, right, to how you want it. Because what is stop motion? Take a picture, move the subject. Take a picture, move the subject. Rinse, repeat. That's it. So I'm just going to stop that there. I just hit the record button again. Now, if I come to the slider on the left-hand side, see how that's kind of ghosted that? So I can see, and you can see how my hand is, you can see the character's last position right in there. So when you're doing this, you can see what's moved, what hasn't moved for starters. And you can see how I've actually moved the table a bit because the girl in the pink is actually ghosted a bit. But it lets you see the overlaying of that, which is very cool. Now, once you've finished your movie, you can hit that button on the right corner and it'll bring you up to the screen. Hit play. Boom. There's my little movie. Kind of cool. I can also come back here and go scene by scene. Now, say I had my hand in that screen, or there was something wrong with it. I just have to click on that cell and it brings up this menu here. How cool is that? So you've got some controls there. I just have to hit the bottom right-hand corner, delete. Boom, deleted. That is now gone from my camera roll, and we carry on with our movie. So you can see that was a few pictures, and it didn't create a very big movie. So you have to be aware of that. All right. And as I say, on your left-hand side, you've got all your tools back there again because you're on that screen. Hit the little camera icon top right, and you're back into ready to continue on doing your shooting. So that's basically the app. It's very straightforward. All right, let's get back into the studio now. Well, that was a pretty cool app for a free app. Now, there is in-app purchases, or you can buy a bundled package of it together. I just went with the free one to play with it, and honestly, it was a lot of fun. Now, remember I said about not touching the camera to take the picture, because you saw even when I was doing the demonstration of the app, it was shaking a bit. Well, you can use a timer that's built within the app, or if you take your headphones that came with the iPhone and plug it in, the volume control on the cord, if you hit the plus, it'll take a picture. So that will work within that app. So you can set your own pace for taking pictures, which is really handy, especially if you're doing a bigger scene. That was only a very short one. So yeah, that is another way that you can release the shutter with the iPhone. You can't use the Apple Watch. I did try, but as soon as you do, it opens up the Apple Camera app, and it won't work within that app. But hey, I gave it a try. Well, that was a lot of fun. Let's have a look at the video I created and check it out. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And now that we're all locked in, parents and kids and everything, You want something to do in the house? Why not introduce your children to stop motion photography? Interest them in photography and videography. I think this app will make it very easy for children to be able to do their own stop motion work, and they could potentially really surprise you with what they produce. On a rainy day, stuck indoors, why not give stop motion photography a try? It was a lot of fun. All right, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. So, until the next time.